Hello and welcome to the Red Card District. I'm joined once again by my good friend, Marc Cunningham. Welcome to the show, Marc. You can follow him
What's
on
up?
Instagram at MarcJC88 and check out his projects at Asura Creative. Marc's here. He's a lifelong England supporter. He's a Brit through his father via Australia/Singapore. But
Yeah.
the love for the Three Lions is still strong. How you feeling today, man? It was a rough day yesterday.
Yeah, I think I've calmed down a little bit. I've stopped asking for Tuchel's head on a pike, or spike, and starting to gain a little perspective on the whole thing. It's rough. It's rough. I really felt that this team was deserving of a final. Obviously, Argentina was always going to be one of the toughest challenges presented to any team. But to lose it in that way, you can't. You just can't let that go. I just think there has to be some kind of inquiry, an inquisition or something that happens as a result. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough today.
Well, we'll go chronologically, and we'll start with the other finish or the other result. I was a little. I feel like there's a recurring theme here in the semifinals, just as far as like how these defeats came about for the losing teams, which in both cases, I believe the more talented squad lost. I think France had the most talented squad in the entire tournament. I don't think that's up for too much debate. I think even the Spanish would say that they have more, they have bigger depth.
Yeah.
But it's about the team, right? And England also, like in both of these instances, we saw teams that played better cohesive football together persevere over the more talented team that they're facing in different ways. But, there was domination from Spain in their match. And there was, the stats aren't pretty for how it went for England after they scored that goal. It is not pretty at all.
Yeah.
Think like numbers I wouldn't even believe when it comes to passing completion statistics and all that stuff after, in that second half.
You can't complete that many passes if you don't attempt any either.
Right. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with Spain and their victory against France. We saw a France team come out with a lineup that we were pretty much expecting. I think the only changes they've been making in that starting 11 is going between Doué and Barcola on the left. And Barcola got the start this time. But other than that, pretty much unchanged. This team has so much talent and so much. I don't know, like it felt like they had the swag coming into the match. It felt like they had, that they knew it. But the big thing for me is just the fact that like you come into a match against a team like Spain that's known for their pressing, right? Like the way they played it, like these are tactics they should have been ready for and things that they should have been ready to, been paying attention to, and felt like that a proper coach would have had them prepared for this and have a game plan. It seemed like it's one of those things where, like they used to say, well, we're the better team, just come out and play your game and they'll have to adjust to you. But that's also, it seems like an arrogant statement or an arrogant way to go about it. Like our football, it seems very French too, right? We are so good.
It would be
we play our football.
Yeah, exactly.
It would. Yeah. Of their mortal or their fatal flaws.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think, once again, this is the point I kept trying to make to people, who didn't quite see it the way that I did with France. But I'm like, your third best player is the current reigning Ballon d'Or, holder, right?
Sure.
So that just says so much about what the depth that they had. Obviously, the Mbappe dictator, memes were making the rounds, and that was awesome to see. But he was backing it up. Backing it up. He showed up every match
until
this team. Yeah, until this one. I mean, I think the one thing seemingly that they did not account for was Digne making such a catastrophic error in judgment. Now you can say Yamal handballed or whatever, but it was his arm was really tight to the body.
Yeah.
He gambled on throwing himself into that.
If your arm is tucked in against your body and you go forward and you hit it with this, like, I'm not calling it a handball on anybody.
No way. Yeah. And like what was the meme as well? Conor McGregor's 0 strikes.
Yeah.
Had
right.
one.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But I think the mark of a great team is knowing how to bounce back from mishaps and things not going your way. And I think France, as much as we feared them because it looked like they barely got out of second gear and were just mowing down opponents, it seemed like that when they needed to kick it into third gear or fourth gear even, they weren't able to do so because there wasn't much strife up until that point. So it's disappointing, but all credit to Spain. I felt that they put on a masterclass of possession-based, stifling, suffocating football that once again just created 2 instances that exposed France's weaknesses, and those led to goals, and then they won the match. Period. So, what more can you say? It's not the most exciting team to see in the finals, but they deserve it. I have to hand it to them.
Yeah, it was the right time for everything to come together.
Yeah.
And even though Spain had, well, rightly so, had a very impressive defensive record, which continued here in this match as well. They just didn't look that coherent going forward. It took late goals, like bringing on Mikel Merino for an 89th and a 92nd minute. This wasn't the free flowing Spain that we have seen in the past. Or,
for sure.
For a while we had expected. It was like, all right, we're getting a different version. They're not quite as potent. I'm not really big on giving Rodri his flowers, but he definitely has looked a little more back to the best version of Rodri.
Yeah.
In their captaining, holding it down, the organization between them and the defense was really good. Like Oyarzabal, up there playing as the false 9. Hey, also specifically with him, way to show people how to take a fucking penalty.
Seriously.
Like please, watch this. If you're a manager, show this man stepping up and kicking it into the fucking corner. Yeah. Unsavable.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
You heard it from me the
Messi,
entire tournament.
Well, we've all heard it from everybody.
Yeah, it's exactly.
We're not unique with these takes.
No.
It's like, what are we fucking doing here?
Yeah.
There's no point to this bullshit, and they're just sitting and waiting, and then you lose any advantage you have of being able to run up on the ball, which they don't get to do.
Yeah. It's like an epidemic right now amongst all these strikers who are trying to do the stuttering. And I, for one, just feel like, it works 30% of the time. And if you will, penalties are like a 50-50. So, I think,
not a 50-50. I mean, they're 70 or 80, really, if you're taking a good penalty. Yeah. But you're bringing it down. You're bringing it down to 50-50. I think by doing this, you're really, really lowering your chances of, your overall your conversion rate has to drop. So there are a few guys that pull them off and do it, exquisitely and do it right, almost all the time. And if you make them and you've never missed one, then fucking go ahead. But the people that we've found guilty of this, I'm not looking at anyone specifically. Eberechi Eze, my boy, in a Champions League final. That running up and doing this with these penalties. It's like, okay, if there isn't a track record, but now I've seen a compilation video, and here's 1, 2, 3 misses in the same fashion. What the fuck are we doing?
No.
So I digress.
Yes.
Very good penalty from Oyarzabal to get the first goal. The penalty though, like Digne. Now here's the thing. I don't know why France has a rich history of good left backs, over the course
Yeah.
of time. Your favorite left back of all time?
That's right. Yeah,
Gael Clichy.
Uncle Pat.
Gael Clichy. Gael Clichy, right?
Clichy. All right.
His national team teammate, his backup primarily. Clichy was a good fullback, but
Sure.
Ever was better than him. But he wasn't better than Ashley Cole. So, Chelsea gun. But
yeah, you're a big Chelsea fan.
hey, how about Chelsea talking doing that celebration? Enzo Fernandez. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
Yeah,
No,
they
I did
tweeted
not,
Enzo Fernandez and him like scoring the goal.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "You're an English club. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're celebrating England losing, you fucking morons."
It's just like Chelsea to not really get the point of anything. Yeah, just right over their heads. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever's running their social media, it's one of their people.
Probably Taboli.
Yeah, he's got the keys. Like, hey, tell the social media intern to lock me in.
Right.
Send me the code to the email so I can log into this right
terrible.
now. So Spain win this penalty. Lucas Digne was a pretty decent fullback, but never even in his prime, which we will say. Actually, let's see exactly how old he is. Lucas Digne is like 32, 34, something like that. Let me put that up right now.
He's getting there.
Yeah, it's right here. Born 1993. Sounds like it's too late. If you're close, you're on the wrong side of 30.
Yeah.
So he's 32 years old. And at fullback, it's pretty old. As far as like positions where you're old at 30 and 30 plus, wingers and fullbacks, you don't really want them in their 30s so much.
Right.
He's not a bad fullback, but it's like, he had his moment, and I know he just made a move to PSG from Aston Villa, right? But
that's right. Yeah.
But like, when was his prime? When he was with Everton and he was in his mid-20s?
Yeah.
So
that was when he was at his fastest.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. And that's really when it comes to fullbacks, like quickness, and as we like quickness was a factor here in this play, but also just like a sense of awareness, all right, maybe the quickness is gone, but the veteran experience to where you should be like, here's this ball just hanging up in the air for beat, still up in the air. And you're just going to swing wildly at it. Like no one's going to fucking close you down. Like so oblivious.
Yeah.
Like it's such a brain fart. Like,
yeah.
How come one of the only token players on France has to fucking do this shit?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Rabiot gave away the foul right outside the box. It was really dangerous too. Like they weren't doing it for the Whiteys.
They looked completely out of sorts. Like I just remember a couple times they tried to string two passes together and knocked it out for a throw in. Like they could not get going. And I have to say, like France put three players around Michael Olise at all times and completely shut him out of the game. Yeah, marked him out of the game. He had to be subbed in the 60-something minute, which was unheard of, right? Throughout this tournament and throughout his season, even at Bayern Munich. So, like I said, they just came in with a plan. They have a history of beating this France team. I think they've won the last 4 meetings against them. So for France to come in here and, as you said earlier, to just play their game was foolish. They needed to be a lot smarter, a lot more savvy with how they were going to approach this. And, ultimately, I think they paid the price. And now they're in the third place match.
and the third string team can play.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I don't
very
think
disappointing.
The third place matchup between France and England is not going to be. I mean, it could be a pretty good game because it doesn't fucking matter, and these guys are going to be trying to play for the next tournament to try to be included in the starting lineups. But
right,
all right, so we're going to see Ryan Cherky start. Like is Mbappe going to play? I don't know. He's going to try to go for the golden boot.
Potentially.
Probably. Maybe.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? But ultimately,
are we going to see Mateta start, and it's just going to be like, fuck it, it's third place.
Yeah, I think
if you ain't first, you're last.
Right. I think that the final ultimately misses out because France is not in it. The way that how exciting it was in 2022, right, against Argentina. that was France. Like high flying, the final misses out on having them there.
Well,
and
yes, but Spain are the reigning Euro champs and the most successful European team over the past 2 decades, right?
True.
Having won 08, 10, 12, and 24.
Yeah. Yeah,
So it's
and
not.
Lamine Yamal has yet to score his goal in the tournament. So maybe
right.
now's the time he'll step up. Yeah. So
he better.
Yeah.
He better. Sorry, everyone who listened to the last episode, and I hope no one followed my betting advice and
oh God,
took France and England because your boy got murdered.
That
what murder?
That was good advice, but
here's what I said was I'm gonna go with the more talented teams,
and
I'm not gonna bet against the better talent, and so that's what I went with. And the clutch gene, I guess, wasn't part of it.
No.
England fucking up. I mean, I thought they were going to make the final before they shit the bed, but tough to say. So anyway, back to France. Giving up the penalty through Digne when there really hadn't been much going either way before then. And then you get to the second half, and you're just kind of like, we're waiting for them. Like, okay, like what did Deschamps do at halftime? Are we going to see a tactical change? Are we going to see something to stem this tide, to change momentum, some substitutions? And nothing really happened. Like,
no,
we didn't see anything. It looked pretty uninspired, and it looked like a team that was just kind of like not just going through the motions, but just kind of like didn't know what to do. Like lack of ideas.
I think the substitution for Doué, the Barcola-Doué, duo often seems very like for like, so it doesn't really solve any of the problems that they were having.
Right. You're not changing something tactically. You're just bringing on the other guy that does it just a little bit differently.
Right. He's just going to replace the energy that was lost from the previous guy. But I think the most confounding thing was the underutilization of Ryan Cherki once he had stepped onto the pitch. It seems like the whole team were playing around him when they should have been playing through him. And
I mean, he looks like a bit of a dickhead. I don't think I want to pass him the ball either.
He does. I doubt they like him very much. But
right?
Yeah.
It's like Garnacho on the Argentinian team. The one guy who sucks fucking Cristiano's dick. Like, you go eat at the table, buddy.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Garnacho was not the vibe for that Argentina team. No. Seemingly not the vibe for any team at this point.
Boy.
But yeah, Cherki, was the only one realistically that I noticed was doing anything of note in that half, and yet they seem to refuse to play through him at all. And of course, just Mbappe just making slap shots into row Z, and I could not understand. Obviously, I understand the frustration, but I could not understand why this team could not find a way to string 2 to 3 passes together, get some possession, get some momentum back into the game. They just tried to overplay every pass and every position that they were in to shoot, and it just. I mean, they had no answers for France, honestly. I think that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, so they get the second goal. And once again,
Pedro Porro.
God, of all people. A Tottenham, you let a Tottenham defender score on you and then pull a Blue Lock celebration. I didn't know it when he did it. I've watched Blue Lock. It's the Japanese anime about finding the selfish striker. I actually just
started that. Yeah,
did you?
I just started that.
It's great. It's a great show.
Yeah, it's very cool.
You're in for some fun. And so you're gonna let that guy of all fucking people pull the shit on you. It is wild that you have. I was talking about this with the Greyhound owner because I think I watched that first match at that bar just because of how crazy it was where I went. Shout out Silver Lake United being too fucking busy and packed and early in the morning on Tuesday, which was fine. I showed up an hour and a half early and that wasn't early enough to get a table and I wasn't going to sit outside. So shout out Matt at the Greyhound for letting us in and giving me the table. but he's talking about it. He's watching this. He's like, here's Pedro Porro doing this, and then who's the guy on Argentina? Oh, and Romero for Argentina. You know, and these guys are doing doing the most important contributions in the World Cup semifinals. Seriously, when they were just nearly relegated like fucking 2 months ago. So
seriously,
wild shit.
What does that?
Life comes at you fast. It's so shame.
Yeah.
Spurs can poison anything. I mean, those guys are two of the most miserable players on Spurs. Like literally the guys that I would punch in the face first on Tottenham. Like Romero and probably Porro. Might be one of the guys, but like they're Romero's definitely number one. With that, and Porro's not far behind. That's for damn sure.
No red cards for Romero. Maybe that's a FIFA thing. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like he didn't get it. Not like he didn't get a yellow in the first half in this match.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, exactly. So
Spain kind of cruised through it. The last 20 minutes just seemed like no energy, no ideas, just kind of like, what are we going to do? And also like one point that I forgot to make about this earlier and what happened in the first half that really changed the tone for me in the match was when William Saliba went down injured. You know, he hurt his back. He's been nursing this injury. He's been playing with it through the end of the Premier League season. Yeah. And of course, it fucking goes out, and now they're talking about surgery. Thanks for sending me that link too, just to make my fucking day better.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew
you were happy to be the bearer of bad news before we record. Oh, he could be out 5-6 months. Yeah.
Oh, Joaquin, how sad.
I hate you.
I felt for him. He's, obviously been one of the best players for Arsenal and France the entire whatever, but it just felt like one of those matches for France, didn't it?
But it just stood out so much because immediately after there's like a rough bad pass, like a back pass to the goalkeeper that was a little too hard, and then a mistimed tackle, and all of a sudden like everyone's at 6s and 7s in the back, and they lack all this composure, and like that's the reason why they call Saliba the Rolls Royce is because he's so smooth as he moves back there. He's moving easy, he's always in the right place, he's never caught out of position. People are calm around him. You have him next to you, you're like, hey, it's all good, he's here. Like Luka Meccano, like that partnership has been a good partnership. But it's definitely, the I don't know, not exactly thunder and lightning, but you know what I mean? Like he's kind of the more robust one in the similar way that Gabriel does the same job for Arsenal. Yeah. In that same way. You have the guy that goes and attacks more, the other guy that kind of holds, but stays in position correctly. And immediately the composure on the ball in the back, not just the back third, but from the middle of the park back for France looked sus. Under the pressure from Spain, all of a sudden they're looking sloppy, not able to make these passes, and and then there were fouls, and literally the guy, where that second goal comes from for Porro, that's the guy, that's the guy that Saliba would have been marking, stuff like that, like, oh well, this guy lost his mark. Who's the guy who was marking him? Lacroix or whatever, right? That's the guy who came in for Saliba.
That's right, Lacroix. Yeah.
It's like, well, funny how that shit works, right?
Yeah.
So they basically cruise. We now have Spain in the final. France are, I guess they got to hang out for the week in U.S. They're probably out partying and shit now, though. To be honest, I don't know. They don't have. I mean, I guess their coach is still there for a swan song before our boy Zizou comes in.
Yeah, that's right. That'll be a good transition for them.
But so then we moved on to let's move on to the match from yesterday. The England match against Argentina. Not too many surprises in the lineup. I guess Morgan Rogers earned a start more through Noni Madueke's inefficiency than great play on his own, but he definitely looked more lively and more useful than him. Yeah. And we're worrying enough. I mean, honestly, with the way it ended up, I'm glad Saka didn't come on. But the fact that Saka didn't come on even when they went down, I mean, maybe he just wasn't warmed up, and I don't know. But the fact that he didn't even factor in one bit scares me a little bit for his preseason with Arsenal. Agreed. Just because, like, why wouldn't you bring your most productive attacking player when you need him in a World Cup semifinal? He's wrapping him in cotton wool for the final.
Yeah,
little mistake.
I mean, I think if he was healthy enough to be on the bench, he should be healthy enough to play 30 minutes at least, right?
I thought, they were going to do like what they had done the rest of the tournament where when Nani started, you had Saka come on at 45 or 55 or 65, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
and get 20 or 30 minutes. I thought maybe with the potential of penalties and an extra time, yeah, he would be a later sub, like 80th minute or something like that. And we never saw him come on.
No.
So let's go through. So Anthony Gordon, scores a goal, nice volley.
Morgan Rogers assist.
Yeah, Morgan Rogers assist.
Yeah.
So he hadn't done
so
much.
Far,
we've been,
a good call.
Right.
To have him on.
We've been talking about him, and he hadn't really done much. But then he comes up with the moment that should have been, would have, should have been the could have been the goal that sent him to the World Cup final.
Right.
And you're looking pretty. Like, you're sitting pretty. Like, okay, this game was a pretty cagey first half, but it didn't look like Argentina wasn't dominating the first half. I wouldn't say that. There were some chances. There were moments where they had a little bit more. I think the last few minutes of the first half, they kind of added a little pressure. But it was back and forth. I think 0-0 felt like a fair result at halftime. No one had really, grabbed the match by the scuff of the neck. And when they got the goal, it didn't really feel against the run of play. But then what happened after was shameful. And once again, like, Tuchel, if this is what you're going to fucking do, they could have kept Gareth Southgate. What the fuck are we doing? So you tell me your problem with your manager.
I think first and foremost, he got the exact same result that we would expect from Gareth Southgate. And one of the things that I think is the most telling thing about Thomas Tuchel in this instance is the over-promise, under-deliver. He literally, criticized Gareth Southgate, saying that the Southgate team lacked a clear playing style, rhythm, and identity. I would say where Tuchel was beginning to get it right was that up until this match, England had shown grit, something that was not characteristic of any of the England teams in the past, right?
Throughout history.
Throughout history. And finally, and I would say with Jude as the sort of talismanic leader of that team, we're beginning to exhibit grit. And in this moment of this match, that's when you double down on that grit and you take the game to Argentina after you score. I feel that Spain did exactly that with France. And I cannot for the life of me understand why, after Gordon scores the goal, he becomes the one that you sacrifice when he's the only obvious outlet on that team in that moment. And he could have played 90. He's capable.
Yeah, he didn't look like a guy that was flagging. He's always had great endurance,
Right.
Like, he's out there doing it for you.
And now with Tuchel,
but this is at, what is it, 65, 70 minutes, 65th minute or something like that. And you sub him, you bring on Konsa for him, right?
That's right. Yeah, a center back.
So they've talked about this too. We've talked about it, I think, some players talking about Arteta and stuff in years past, and it's just like, well, like, it's not just this, but it's the message it sends to the other team.
Correct.
Oh, we're battening the hatches. We're going to defend what we have.
Yeah.
Bitch, you got another half hour to fucking play.
Exactly.
Right? We got at least 20, 25 minutes plus it,
right.
20 minutes plus injury time, still half hour, right? There was 9 minutes which turned into 11 minutes of injury time. No one wants to fucking hold for 30 fucking minutes. Okay, 85th minute. Okay, batting the hatches, 10, 15 minutes.
Makes a lot of sense.
There's a job.
Dan Burn is Mr. 85th minute.
Mr. 85th minute. We said it, and he came on at 84, 83, 84th minute.
Yeah, exactly. I think that what ended up happening was that Tuchel's England became characterized by the siege mentality. By the batten down the hatches, we're going to just hold up.
Why? Because it worked against Mexico? And like, why would you fucking do that against Mexico?
That worked against Mexico with 10 men. Yes, exactly. But it seemed to click something in his brain as if this team was like fully capable of just continuing to do that every time they got the lead.
I mean,
but it doesn't make sense.
Do these tactics.
Yeah,
exactly. It doesn't take any fucking master tactician.
What's Tony Pulis doing? Yeah, so like, give them a call if you're gonna play like that. Like, but more importantly, if you're gonna call out Southgate, you better bring something different, and you didn't. Like, and that is shameful. And it is, once again, the entire debacle is characterized by how cowardly his substitutions appeared at the end of the day. And I cannot for the life of me understand why with 35 minutes to go, he would not believe that this team could carry on the way that they had been. Up until that point, they had faced down every elbow to the neck, every bad refereeing decision. They had weathered every storm and then gone into taking the lead. They had shown that they were trustworthy of continuing that at least until the 80th minute. And for what it's worth, now that this has happened, we were already critical of his squad selection, bringing people like Ivan Toney, Jordan Henderson, in lieu of a Morgan Gibbs-White or a Cole Palmer, or it's just any number of these players that had a little spark of creativity. And not to mention, and as a United fan, this is extra glaring of an oversight, but having a 20-year-old Kobbie Mainoo, in the Euro final against Spain, a starter in the Euro final against Spain, the quintessential press-resistant midfielder who can play you out of trouble, maintain possession, pass the ball well, all these things, and he doesn't see 1 minute of playing time in the tournament. Jordan Henderson gets his 7th World Cup walkout, and then goes ahead and breaks his wrist in celebrating against Mexico, and still we can't see a minute of Kobbie Mainoo or a player of his ilk. I cannot fathom that, because then what happens is the entire structure of your team plays purely in a defensive way throughout the rest of the tournament, and it materialized in this capitulation, because you cannot keep playing like this. You cannot. And even Morocco knew better than to not have these outlets to play to constantly, to just weather a storm, to hold up the ball in their end of the pitch.
Right.
I cannot understand this. And there are people there's like two schools of thought, all of which are critical of Tuchel, but one where they are saying that he made the substitutions according to what he saw from the players was unfolding. And that was that they began to play deeper. They wanted to protect the lead. Well, if that's the case,
right,
then maybe it's your job to encourage them to move forward with your substitutions, not play into that cowardice, that fear-based play. I cannot understand it. I for one am not a manager in a situation like that, so I ultimately feel for people being critical of people playing at the highest level, but it just made no sense whatsoever. And I think ultimately they're just going to look back on what could have been, because they had it this time. This was revenge.
Yeah, it's really too bad. I don't. Declan Rice was talking about how disappointed he was having dealt with this, and it's not having any words for it. And you look at the the other stars. Bellingham, how did he play? Not badly, but and then Harry Kane, where were you?
Always. Seems to be the invisible man on the big day.
Yeah, unless he gets a penalty to put away or something like that, it's not. It doesn't look that good.
Yeah. Well, didn't he miss a penalty against Croatia?
Yep.
Yeah. That would have put them in the final. So
yeah. Man, how many ice cream trucks are going to go by?
This team needed a manager to inspire them. And I do not believe Tuchel was that man. And it is just a crying shame, honestly. And I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be the difference. Like literally when we were talking about this, when I was previewing this just last week, it's like, okay, well, they have about the same talent they had before, a little more mature. These guys are playing at bigger places now. Declan Rice is at Arsenal. Kai Saka's a bigger star. Bellingham's at Real Madrid now.
the other guys at the moment. And now, what's the difference? We have a German manager that's a better tactician. He should be able to make the decisions. Because literally what I highlighted was like, okay, well, Gareth had, like, he cruised through the tournament, the Euros, right, against Italy.
Yeah.
And getting all these things done correctly, blah, blah, blah. This is all good. And it's like, oh, well, he keeps making the right decisions. It's gone out all his way. And then he was finally exposed. At the highest level, he was outmaneuvered.
100%. And that is literally what you brought Tuchel in for.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get to the final, then he hasn't done his job. He's failed. Do I think now, after a night's rest, that he should be fired? Honestly, no. I think he did a lot in the qualifiers. I think that this team were more entertaining overall, maybe not so much in the tournament itself, but overall they were scoring more goals. Once again, but it came down to that crunch, that team selection, that all that. If you're gonna bunker down too, why not bring Harry Maguire? If that's gonna be your strategy, you're not gonna bring old slabhead.
You have Dan Burn. Dan Burn's even taller than him. His head's pretty big too.
Well, Harry Maguire will score a goal off a corner at least. So
you do have that. He offers that. That's one different thing.
And the experience of bunkering down. But yeah, it's confusing. It's confusing. It's disappointing. But keep him on. Let him take them to the Euros. This generation of players, this is their last chance for any real silverware, I'd say. Well, not Jude, obviously, but Harry Kane and Marcus Rashford and some of the defenders and all that there.
Well, the next Euros, Harry Kane's only 32. I mean, I don't want to see him there anymore, but I mean, honestly, and maybe Harry Kane will understand that. I mean, it just depends on who comes in to fill in. Who establish themselves. Because at this point, maybe there won't be someone else. It's not going to be Ollie Watkins. The desperation in bringing on Ivan Toney at the end. I don't think, I don't think that's the best thing.